Representative Rob Beiswenger from Legislative District 8 was there to talk about collective bargaining. So he joins us now. There he is. Representative, good to see you. Walk us through a little bit about what collective bargaining looks like currently and why we would want to change this when it comes to the firefighters, at least.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for having me on. So right now, collective bargaining, as defined by Idaho law for firefighters, they can negotiate every last thing that's part of their job. So they can negotiate, theoretically, they could negotiate the paint in the bathrooms. They can negotiate how many people are on staff at a time, what kind of equipment get used, not used. And so the bill introduced this morning, or the RS, that will now become a bill, it just says the firefighters can still negotiate on wages and hours, but that's it. We're not going to have them saying, union gets to weigh in on every little topic there. And if you go back in the day, like 70, 80 years ago, the original union organizers thought it was unthinkable that unions could be government employees at all. They said that was definitely something that would only, unionization would only apply to the private sector and not at all to the public sector. So we've gotten way far away from that over the years. Now, so really it's just, the fire, we're going to rein this kind of back in. They can still negotiate their wages. So I think it's really kind of a modest bill. But Utah, by comparison, just I think last week, eliminated, collective, or really we call it monopoly bargaining for union government employees. They eliminated that across the state, across all of it, firefighters, and they did not exempt wages like this bill does. So it's kind of a trend here, I guess, a little bit. We're trying, it gives results in more government efficiency, makes the fire departments, I think, a little more flexible and business friendly-ish, if that kind of makes sense, that they're going to, not have to, if they want to change something, they don't have to go into a 6-month negotiation on getting a new piece of equipment or a new change in status there. The staff can just implement it. So I think it's a really good bill.
Okay, so then explain to me, if you're saying we don't want to be getting into negotiations on every little detail, who then would be making those decisions, and why is it important that it's in the hands of the county or the city to make those negotiations with that particular? Because do these negotiations happen statewide, or do they usually happen within the municipalities themselves?
Yeah, it'd be done locally. Like Eagle, Idaho has a fire board that manages the fire department over there, and different places are going to do it differently. A lot of places have volunteer firefighters. There's no, I think in Horseshoe Bend, we don't have any paid firefighters that I'm aware of. So some places it's not going to really change for them, those places at all. Some places are going to have these boards that can be elected positions. So it's going to be a little bit different based on where you are and how that happens. But this will put the elected officials will be accountable to the taxpayers and their constituents, and they'll have to work directly with them on how they treat their fire departments.
Right. Okay. Well, again, this was just an RS hearing, but we were watching the footage of we have it there. Quite an audience behind you there for a print hearing.
Yeah, I guess they're really excited to hear what I had to say. I guess the backstory is there. We didn't, they were here for another event. There's a dinner going on for legislators and firefighters tonight. I can't make it. I already have a commitment with my family, but so they were already in town, I guess, for it. And so this came up, and when you have an RS, all they can see is the title of the bill. There's no information given. So I think to them, honestly, I didn't detect any hostility, really. I think they were just kind of like concerned what's going on, and that kind of stuff. So I was kind of glad they got to sit in and hear on it, and they could, hear. It's a public hearing. It gets televised on the internet and so forth. So kind of glad they got to hear, what I had to think.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So now that this bill is going to be printed and everybody's going to take a look at it, do you expect much pushback? Like you said, you're not ending the bargaining when it comes to wages and that sort of thing. But I expect there's going to be some pushback.
When you ever make a change, it's going to make people uncomfortable, because they've got a certain way they're doing business in different places. So, yeah, I'm sure somebody's going to, not like it, and that's fine. That's just part of, working down here. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's really a modest bill. It could go a lot. We could do a lot stronger bill, quite frankly. But I think we'll just start here, and we'll see how the conversation goes. I think there's a lot of appetite for it in the House, and so I think our chances are good to get it through. But we'll see what they answer the hard questions.
Yeah, very good.